Hi, Jason McGill for Salas Personal Solutions, and we've got a really great question here, and I'm so glad I'm getting all these wonderful, wonderful questions. And this one is really sensitive, and I think a lot of people wonder about this, so I'm glad I got this question. What is it that keeps people from reaching out to those in need of emotional support? For example, let's say that a boy was depressed and walked around school with a completely broken expression. He used to be fairly cheerful, but now he's unresponsive, tired, seemingly sick, and dangerously pensive. The school regularly encourages its students to help those that they are concerned about by alerting counselors and teachers. Yet nobody helps the boy. Why is this? What is it that prevents the people around him, including his friends, from deciding to check on the boy? Again, this is such a wonderful question, and I hope I do a good job of explaining it without getting too confusing. So, from both professional and personal perspectives, I've seen people avoid helping those in distress. In my personal life, I tend to overlook it. Just because someone is in distress doesn't mean just anyone with a good heart and well wishes should approach them. They could actually do more harm than good. So quite honestly, most people become very nervous or afraid of others in distress, and they themselves are unsure of how to talk to someone dealing with very strong emotions. Think of the stereotype of men being really uncomfortable when women cry, right? So from my professional life, the experience has been different. These are people trained to help others in distress, but there's still something foreboding about the client that's having homicidal or suicidal ideations. Some professionals don't want to approach that person because they're afraid of the big what ifs, right? What if I work with them and they kill someone or themselves? And I think, unfortunately, this is a reality in the mental health field, but what's also a reality is if there's an investigation or trial, that mental health worker, no matter how well-meaning or trained, they may lose their license or their livelihood. So some professionals fear their own consequences should they end up making matters worse, but the majority of them simply fear the possibility of actually making matters worse. They're not all concerned about losing their job. They just want to make sure that they're keeping people safe. And they're not entirely comfortable enough with their own skill set as a helping professional, and they worry they'll make things worse for the client. This creates a real catch-22 for the person wanting emotional support, right? Walking around all melancholic and despondent actually pushes people away. This may only kind of further strengthen preconceived ideas that a stressed person had relating to others' opinions of him or her. They'll feel more isolated and like no one likes them enough to ask what they can do to help. So if you consider happy people for a moment, you'll understand how that works, okay, and how it's not personal. People like to be around happy people. In fact, most of us seek out happy people because they make us feel happy too. They have a way of making us feel good about ourselves. Well, then the opposite is true. Okay, people avoid sad, depressed, mean people because those people make us feel not so great. They can make us feel uneasy or scared. So, to answer the question, people avoid contact with those in need of support for several reasons. It could be they feel very uncomfortable and don't want to make things worse, or they just don't like being around someone that drains emotional energy from them. Neither of these things should be taken personally, since they have nothing to do with the person doing the suffering. It's more about the byproducts that suffering produces. For more information, please log on to my website at www.salaspersonalsolutions.com. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for such a great, great question. Bye.